Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever looked back at your life and wondered, man, if I only did something different, if I only made this decision differently, if I only took that risk? Have you ever thought of that before? What's going on, guys? This is Eric, and I'm here on another Mind Dump. And this one is a little bit different. This one's more of like a monologue. I was sitting in the coffee shop the other day, just taking some notes in my journal. And I've been doing a lot of journaling, which has been really helpful. If you haven't done journaling before, highly recommend it. There's a lot of different ways to journal. I'm just using basically free form, just writing my notes on a journal just on a daily basis, and I've really enjoyed it. But the other day I had an interesting conversation over coffee when I was kind of chatting about how every experience that you have in life, everything that you do in life, helps bring you to where you want to be eventually if you make those right decisions. I've always had the philosophy that life is like a stair step, like a number of flights of stairs. And imagine when you're born and you are on the bottom flight of stairs. And you want to eventually get to the penthouse, which is on the 100th flight of stairs. Elevator doesn't work because unfortunately there are no easy paths to life. There's no bing, elevator shoots you up to the penthouse. You have to take the stairs. So when you kind of look at that analogy, you kind of start thinking, okay, life is a journey and life can be challenging. You know, the first couple of flights of stairs, the first 5 or 10 or 20 aren't that bad. You know, you have your pace. Sometimes you just kind of like jump up it. You're excited because you're going to eventually get to the penthouse. But then when you get into your 20s and 30s of flights of stairs, and as of age, if you kind of think about it, things start getting really difficult and challenging. You start getting tired, start sweating, you start wondering, dang, how many more flights of stairs do I have to get to the top? How am I going to get up there? And you start wondering, should I give up? Should I just, this floor looks pretty cool. Maybe I should just stay here. This looks like a pretty decent floor. I don't need to get to the penthouse. I'm perfectly okay with it here. And like that, a lot of people just settle. They decide and they say, you know what, this is good enough. I'm never going to make it up there. I'm never going to try to make it up there. And they just settle and they stay on that floor, the 30th floor, 35th floor. Other folks, they start going up the stairs and they twist their ankle a little bit, or they sprain their ankle. They come across a challenge, maybe a locked door. And some folks, they get frustrated at these challenges, just like challenges in life, and they decide to back down. They go down a couple of stairs, a couple of flights, down to a regressive past previous way of living or previous step or flight of stairs. So for me, what I've always had as a philosophy, and now especially with my transition and my change in life and what I'm doing now with my businesses, I've decided to consciously decide to constantly keep moving forward. Use every experience in life as a learning lesson and a stair step to allow you to take those next steps forward, to take those steps to progress. You know, when I look back in life, in the past, when I was younger, I used to always say, man, I wish I did this differently. I wish I got into real estate when it was hot. I wish I did mortgages when it was hot and popular. I could have made a ton of money. I wish I invested in the stock market or bought Bitcoin at a certain period of time. Things would be completely different. But the more I look back and I reflect on my life and the things that I've done in my life, the more I realize that if I haven't made those conscious decisions, if I haven't made those choices, if I didn't make those mistakes or awesome learning experiences, I would not be the person who I am today. If I made certain decisions a little bit differently, I might not have had Vincent. If I made certain choices in life a little bit differently, I might not be living in California with great opportunity. So when you kind of think of it, when you look in your past, you never want to live a life of regret. You never want to live a life of, gosh, I wish I did things differently. You're still young, you still have the opportunity to continually learn and develop and take on new opportunity. And the things that you've done in the past that you might have regretted or you might have questioned, don't look at it with regret. Don't look at it with disappointment. Instead, look at it as an opportunity to learn. When I was younger and I first kind of got started in the entrepreneurial life, I learned a lot of lessons, I still remember opening my first business, Hyper Technocraft, with my business partner at the time. And I made a huge mistake. I never had a partnership agreement. We're just buddies on a handshake agreement. And we grew that business pretty large, and we did fairly well. But at the end, we both burnt ourselves out, and I left that business, and I realized and I learned never again will I start a business with a partner without an agreement, without any type of formalized documentation. And that lesson has stuck with me to this day, and it's helped propel my success. Same thing with my previous relationship. I always look back and said, damn, I wish I did this differently. I wish I made this decision differently. I wish I didn't say that. I wish I didn't do that. But when I look back, I'm like, you know, those things help define and help craft my dialogue for my story today. If it wasn't for those mistakes that have caused issues in relationship, I wouldn't be sharing these cool stories and experiences with you. And from a lot of the folks I've talked to have impacted a lot, which I am super grateful for the opportunity for. So I'm just gonna kind of read what I wrote down here and just let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Again, this is just like my mind spill, my mind dump, and my ability to just kind of like vent and get things out of my mind. You know, my mistakes and successes define who I am. I've grown through hardship, celebrated life, through success, and learned from challenge. Now, if life was easy, we'd all have a six-pack, we'd all be wealthy, and we'd all be married to the perfect partner. But unfortunately, life isn't easy. Life is about challenge. If we always made perfect decisions, we would never be introduced to new experiences, or embrace our emotions, or understand the purpose of life or why we are here. While we might at this moment ask why is it so hard? Why is this happening to me? Or why is this happening now? Without these challenges and tough moments, we would never understand or relish in the moments of success or celebration. We will never experience or understand or appreciate the little things that happen to us in life. These things that make a difference, nor will we appreciate love. Without the lows of life, we will not be able to process or really comprehend the highs of life. You know, they always say it's the moments of sadness which allow you to appreciate the moments of joy. You know, if we couldn't understand the highs of life or the great parts of life, then what is the point, right? Now imagine a life without the opportunity to appreciate, the ability to understand, and the ability to feel. It sounds terrible, you know? Even if it could be a perfect life, that you never make a mistake, that you'll never have these mind-growing experiences, but perfect life where there's no mistakes, nothing wrong ever happens. That's personally not a life for me. I prefer a life of challenge, a life of adversity, and an imperfect life, because that to me is what makes life interesting. It makes me think, it makes me grow, it makes me progress in life. I prefer being challenged to relish the reward at the end of the tunnel. Personally, I prefer a challenged life. Think of life as if you were taking flights of stairs to the penthouse. It's a long journey, complete with tiny steps, heavy breathing, and tough contemplative moments. Imagine you're on the 35th floor and you still got 65 floors left to go, and you're sitting there like, dang, I don't know if I'm gonna make it up all those stairs. You start contemplating life. You start thinking about, should I continue or should I quit? Now, do you give up halfway through the flight of stairs and stop and settle? Some do, but you want to continue because you know at that last flight, you're going to be hitting that penthouse. Unfortunately, like I've said before, many of us give up all too early. We get challenged by these challenges and these moments of adversity, and we decide to quit and give up, and we never get the opportunity to experience what it's like to have that success. I've always noticed that the difference between failure and success, or between first and second place, is fractions of a difference. It's like if you watch an IndyCar race or a motorsports in general, the difference between the first place winner and the second place person who isn't going to win is milliseconds. And in an IndyCar race, the difference between first and last is often mere seconds. Mere seconds. So why not continue to push, to forge forward? The difference between success and failure is so slight that often in the near verge of failure, that those who stick to it reach wild success, and those that decide to give up and try something new never make it. So I urge you to continue. I urge you not to wish things were different. I urge you to take the stairs of life and keep moving upwards and onwards. You know, I read a really interesting article the other day, and it's a pretty popular one. I'll link it in the description below. And in the article, it was a study that was done with folks who were on their deathbed. And the person asked these folks on their deathbed, what is the one thing that you wish you did differently while you're alive? And the vast majority of folks that were on their deathbed said, I wish I took a life of more risk. I wish I took that opportunity. I wish I took that challenge, because my life would have been vastly different. So I urge you and I plead to you, choose a life of adversity. Use these moments as growing steps, the opportunity for you to grow, progress, and develop as a person, as a human, as a part of society. Because society needs folks like us that want to continue forging forward, continue improving ourselves, continue making a difference for all those around us. So that's just my mind spill for today, guys. I just had like this, just started dumping ideas on just the journey in life and how I personally consciously have chosen to choose to address the challenges I have. You know, we all have challenges in life. We have difficult folks that we work with. We have difficult family interactions. We have difficult financial situations. But remember, these are just temporary issues. These are temporary challenges. So take these opportunities to learn and grow and continue forging forward. And with that, stay strong. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Any comments, I would love, love, love to hear them. Don't forget to smash that like button, which is right down here in the corner, and hit subscribe. You know, I want to keep putting up these videos on a weekly basis to keep sharing my thoughts and maybe impact you in your life. With that said, I hope you have a killer week. Take care.